variation. Phenotypic variation means visible appearance or the external appearance. The external or the visible appearance is the phenotype. The part of the genotype that is expressed is phenotype. So the external appearance or the visible appearance is the phenotype. So the phenotypic variation in a species always results in the evolution through the natural selection. So in the previous topic what we have discussed three situations. So in the first situation, the green colored beetles, because they could mix up with the environment, with the trees, they had a survival advantage, right? So that survival advantage was only because of the natural selection. The crows naturally selected the red beetles. So that is why the green beetles had a survival advantage. Whereas in the second situation what happened, they were both a mix of the red beetle as well as the blue beetle. But accidentally, due to the stepping of the elephant foot, the complete red species became extinct. So there was no survival advantage. So that was the accidental survival. So all these natural selection was proposed by the Darwin's theory of natural selection. Charles Darwin voyaged for 5 years all over the world and had written a book called Origin of Species. In this Origin of Species, he mentioned why this natural selection happens through a theory. See, while he was voyaging, he observed, he went to a Galapagos island that was in the West Pacific Ocean. So there what he observed, in the finches of the birds, in the finches, so he travelled to Galapagos Islands, which was in the West Pacific Ocean. So there he observed a bird called finches. So in those finches, he has observed the beaks of the finches birds. So there were some adaptations according to the food they eat in the beaks of the finches. So if the food they eat were hard seeds, then the beaks of those birds were very thick, the finches bird. And then if the food they were eating were insects, then the beaks of the birds was very skinny and pointed. And then if the birds were eating very hard fruits like say cactus fruit, then the beaks were very hard. So according to the food they eat, that is according to the environment they live, there were adaptations in the beaks of the finches, which was observed by Charles Darwin in the Galapagos Islands. So what we can say is birds have adapted themselves to so many surprising things in the environment, right? So birds also have adaptations based on so many things in the environment. So that is Darwin's theory. So there is also something called genetic drift. See, suppose what is genetic drift? Suppose in a population, due to some calamity, there is a sudden decrease in the number of the population due to if there is a sudden decrease in the number or a species of a population due to any natural disaster, it is known as the genetic drift. Genetic drift can be treated as the opposite of variation. So, whenever there is a sudden decrease in any population of any organism due to changes in the surroundings, it is known as the genetic drift. See, in the previous what we have discussed, in the third situation what happened, because of the lack of the food, the number of the organisms also decreased suddenly because they couldn't get adequate food. But if we replenish the food content, if we replenish the amount of food, then again the beetles will increase in size as well as the body also will get thicker. Because of the lack of food, they become thinner. So what is genetic drift? Because of any natural calamity. See, in the situation number 2, because of the stepping of the elephant's foot, all the red beetles died. Thereby, the population of the red beetles got extinct. So that is known as the bottleneck effect. There is a sudden decrease in the population due to any natural calamity around in the environment. It is known as the bottleneck effect. Suppose if there are a group of people living on an island and that island has got a typhoon or a tsunami or an earthquake say, and then 80% of the population died due to that earthquake or a typhoon, and then only 20% survived. That is a sudden decrease in the population. This is only known as the genetic drift. So genetic drift always leads to a bottleneck effect. That means if you know a bottle, the base is wide and the mouth is narrow. So suppose the base is a large population and then the population has suddenly decreased. That means it has become the neck of the bottle. Population has become decreased, less in number. So because of the natural calamities around us, that is known as the bottleneck effect. This bottleneck effect leads to the production of only homozygous individuals. Say there is a population of 100 people on an island, but suddenly there is an earthquake on the island which killed 80 people, and then only 20 people have survived, and then slowly these 20 people will be reproducing. So what these 20 people will be having? All these 20 people will having homozygous, will be homozygous, that means similar kind of individual. See, suppose these 20 people have a color blindness. Color blindness is a disorder of the eye. So if these 20 people have color blindness, in the offsprings they produce 3 to 4 generations, this color blindness will be transferred. So all these are similar group of individuals. Bottleneck effect leads to the production of similar kind of individuals, that is homozygous, similar. Homo is similar. Okay, zygote is the relation. So similar type of individuals. So if there are totally similar type of individuals, there will be less genetic variation. There will not be much variations. There will not be much variations in the species produced, right? Again, for the variations to produce, it will require many generations. So you have understood, right? Genetic drift means if there is a sudden decrease in the population due to the environmental disasters, it is known as the genetic drift. Happens in animals. Because the elephant has stepped in the situation 2 on the beetles, there is a sudden decrease in population. That is known as the genetic drift. This genetic drift leads to the bottleneck effect. That means sudden decrease in the number of individuals is called bottleneck effect. When there is a sudden decrease in the number of individuals, only less number of population will remain, say 10 or 20. What determines that what is less number, what is more number, whether 50 is less or 500 is less? It all depends on the type of the organism. So, saying the number is less or more, it all depends on the type of the organism. Whichever type of organism had got the bottleneck effect or the genetic drift, depending on the type of the organism and that number of the organism, it decides whether it is less or more. So, this bottleneck effect leads to the production of homozygous individuals. There will be no variations, only all the similar type of individuals will remain, very small population. Again, when these will gradually reproduce, again the variations will come over a period of generations. So that is genetic drift. So the frequency of any inherited trait changes over the generations. So this is the basic principle or the essence of the evolution. The frequency of any inherited trait. What is inherited trait? If your parents have attached earlobes or free earlobes, one of the trait will be inherited from the parents to you. So that is known as the inherited trait. What is inherited trait and what is the difference between an acquired trait? Inherited traits come to the children from the parent generation. Offsprings will receive the inherited trait from the parent generation. Then what is an acquired trait? See, if there are two twins if they look identical are known as the if the twins look similar in appearance, they are known as the identical twins. If they are not similar in appearance, they are known as the fraternal twins. So in these identical twins, when they are born, they look similar. But even after they grow up, do they look similar? No. But then the DNA will be similar, the genotype will be similar, but the phenotype will be different. Phenotype is the external visible appearance. So when the identical twins, when they are born, they look similar. But when they grow up, see, if there is a girl and girl combination, when they grow up, one girl has eaten lot of food and become very fat, and when one girl goes to lot of beach and has got lot of tan, see, this is an acquired trait. Because of eating lot of food, one twin has become fat and one twin, because of going to the beach, has got tan on her face. But when they reproduce, when their children will be born, will this feature be inherited to the next generation? This feature of fatness, this feature of having tan on the face, will this be inherited to the next generation? No, right? This is not an inherited trait. This is an acquired trait. So this is the difference here. Acquired traits are not inherited. The tan of the face, the shape of the body is not inherited. And see, suppose there is a rat, and if you have cut the tail of the rat, will the next generation which is born, the rat which is born to that parent, will it have a short tail? No, right? Because the tail was purposely cut by us, it is not that the next generation which is produced will also have a short tail. So this is always, this short tail is not an inheritable trait. Mice tail has been purposely cut by us. But the next generation of mice which will be born will not have a short tail, because this is not an inheritable feature, right? So that is the difference between an acquired trait and an inherited trait. Inherited traits pass from generation to generation. Acquired traits are those which are present in only one generation. They will not pass to the next generation. So what is artificial selection and what is natural selection? In the situation 1, in the previous discussion of ours, all the red beetles were eaten up and the green beetles could survive because they could blend with the environment. That is known as the natural selection, which is automatically done by the environment around us. But what is artificial selection or artificial breeding? See, you remember Mendel's pea plants experiment, right? Mendel purposely used to act like a god, and then he used to pollinate the anther and the pollen, right? So that was all artificial breeding or selective breeding or artificial selection. Why was that done? To achieve the selective traits or the desired traits, whatever we wanted. Mendel used to do that artificial breeding in the pea plant. So that is known as the artificial selection. Artificial selection is artificially done by the human beings to get the desired or to get the desirable characters or traits in the new generation. So artificial selection is the process which is done by us human beings so that we can get the desirable characteristics whatever we want in the next generation. It is done artificial breeding, that is called. So that is the difference between an artificial selection and a natural selection. So this is about the topic evolution or variation. See, what is the difference between an acquired trait and an inherited trait? See, in the process of inheritance of trait, there will be DNA multiplication and there will be multiplication of the genes or the germ cells also. Whereas in the acquired trait, we are not dealing anything anywhere with the germ cells or the DNA replication or the genes. See, for example, we are taking a mice. We are cutting the tail of the parent mother because of plastic surgery or maybe some another reason. But now since we have cut the tail of the mice, the mother tail will be short. But will this short tail feature transfer to the next generation? No, because we have nowhere connected with the genes or the germ cells. We have nowhere touched the gene cells or the DNA of the parent. We have cut the only external appearance. That is the main difference between an acquired trait and an inherited trait. See, acquired trait is what? If a mother has tan, the next generation child will not have tan on the face. That is an acquired trait. If the mother of the child is very fat and a lot of fussy eater, it is not necessary that the child will also be the same fussy eater and will be very fat. So those are the acquired traits. Those are the external traits. Why are these not transferable to the next generations? Because we are not dealing here anywhere with the germ cells or the DNA replication. We are not concerned with that. Whereas inherited traits are always concerned with the transfer of the DNA from generation to generation and the multiplication of the genes or the germ cells. So that is the difference between an acquired trait and an inherited trait. In an acquired trait, there will be no transfer of the germ cell or the DNA replication. In an inherited trait, there will be transfer of the germ cells and genes will be multiplied and the DNA will be multiplied. And thereby we end the chapter, thereby we end the topic evolution.